this live yet? I'll start building in a second, assuming it is. Yeah, I think this is live. All right, I want to show you something real quick. Okay. So, maybe a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I did a puzzle from Roker. Maybe you saw this. The Roker electric guitar. You might have seen that puzzle. Roker electric guitar. Kind of tough to get on frame. So, now I have another puzzle from Roker. And it kind of looks the same as the other one. But there's a huge, scale difference. It's half the size. If you look at the front, it's if you look at just the object, it's the same size. But if you look at the box, it's half the size. And then if you look at the depth, the width, whatever you want to call it, it's 5 times the size. So it's probably 10% the size in total. I don't know when we're going to start that, but just letting you know that's out there. What we're going to do today is we're going to continue the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones, Mega Construx, Black Series, Daenerys, and Drogon. I'll get started with that in a minute. Just get out the instructions and the pieces that aren't already out. All right. There's bag 10, bag 9, wing bags. And 2 instruction booklets. I don't know how we're not on the second instruction booklet yet. I don't think it's going to take 14 days to do this puzzle, but we're still on the first instruction book somehow. Well, we are on the last page of the first instruction book, and I think the second book is going to go quick. Let's see, I think, You never know. That's what I think. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to put this down so it doesn't fall down. And we're up to, we had done this yesterday. I think that's the only thing we did yesterday. Was whatever this piece is. So we're at instruction 80 today. Let's start collecting the pieces. So I've got these, they're like single trapezoids. I guess they're different in some way. Maybe one side's a right angle because it's 3 of one, 3 of another. And then those that funny piece, 3 of those, and then two 2x3s. So we're just going to start collecting the pieces. Well, the simplest one is a 2x3. And I just saw one just sitting there. Yeah, there's another 2x3. 2x3s, pretty easy to come about. The other pieces, I'm not really sure. So this piece, and I guess there's an opposite version of that piece, and we need 3 of each of them. That's not it. What is this doing here? And it's already bent. That's weird. All right, Daenerys. Forgot about her. All right, here's one of those pieces. Now, Is this the opposite? Is this the same as this one, or is this the opposite? I think it's an opposite. So 2 of those, 2 more of those, 2 more of each of these. Oh, that's an opposite. You know what? Is this a 3rd style piece? All right, let's look at it from this side. All right. So let me see here. Those 2 pieces are the same. I think it's easier to identify them putting them this direction. So we need 2 more of one of those, 1 more. Oh, and this piece we need. I think this is that little piece we need. So there's like 2 versions of that as well. So like the middle is a right angle. Well, I'm calling it the middle. You know, you could think of it however you want. But the reason I'm calling it the middle is because I've put them side by side. They'll sit together right angles. So I also need 3 of those pieces. 3 of each of those. So, all right, now here's another one of these. Okay, so we need 1 more of each of these. And we need a few more of those other pieces. Wow, flipping this upside down was definitely the way to go. You can easily see these pieces. Oh my goodness, I keep finding... Do I have this, like... Are there 4 versions of this piece? Like, what is going on here? Like, look at these 2 pieces. They're clearly different. But neither one of them matches this. But maybe if I spin it around, then it does. Okay, yeah. So those were the same pieces. Those were actually the same piece I had twice. All right, now this is a different piece. But it's the same as this one. All right, so now we just need 1 more of those, and we still need up here, what do we need here? 1 more of each type, it looks like. If I'm even grabbing the right pieces, which I'm not 100% sure. It's the first time we're using this piece, but I think that's right. Is it snowing where you are? It's snowing here. So at least we got some snow. I don't know if it's going to stick, but we got some snow going here. All right, this one, yeah, that's it. Now, are those all the pieces we need? Let's see here. 3. Something's messed up here. Hold on a second. This piece is this version. So we're actually not done there. I'm telling you, these pieces are like, have subtle differences. So make sure you get them right. Okay. 3 this way, 3 that way, same here, 3 each side, and then that. All right, so we're ready to move on to actually building this thing. What do we got here? Is it the... Are we stacking this onto the previous thing we built? I'm just trying to understand, excuse me, where the red pieces are coming from. Like, okay, yeah, we're making 2 sides for this thing. Okay. So we're doing this like kind of, is that 2 sides or is that 1 side? Oh, okay. We're using the big pieces. Okay, it's like this. 1 side gets the big pieces, 1 side gets the small pieces. So they both have the 2x3 base. No, I still don't have it right. Okay. They both get a 2x3 base. And they each get 1 set from each side. So this is going to be tricky. Make sure we don't mess it up. So if these ones go here, then what goes on the other side It's, I got these upside down, but I'm pretty sure it's these ones. Yeah, you see that like pattern that they're creating? Do I have that right? Or is that upside down? I think it's upside down, right? So that was wrong. I did that wrong. I think I did that wrong. All right, let me move these guys over here. Okay, now it's a pattern. Long side down pattern. That's not right either. What is going on here? Okay, no, that's right. You just have to spin it around. Okay. So, the short go on one side, the long go on the other side. They're actually going to go on the buttons. And the straight side goes towards the middle in both cases. And then they have a long side on the bottom and then the slant side on the top, if that makes sense. And then it's kind of the other thing on the other side. But how is that going to work? Are we putting the... I feel like that's not working. Well, it is working, but it's like the opposite. See how they're like opposites right now? I don't know if that's like clear from any of these angles. Anyway, you just kind of have to take my word for it. They're opposites. All right. I think when I put them together, they'll make more sense. So, this one. Put the little one on one side. You put the flat end of the big one on the other side, and they're sort of going the same direction. And it does the same thing right down the line. So these all go the same way. And they all go side to side. Oh, you know how I've been talking about those cameras all week? Those HDMI cameras that don't show up? That's like still going on. My cameras are stuck in a town in Pennsylvania. Well, one set. It's like I ordered from 3 different places, and it's like 3 different stories. You know, they're all like none of them can get here within 2 weeks. And they all have like different stories, and they're all shipped from different ways. Like one UPS, one FedEx, one Amazon. None of them can get here, and they all have different stories. I almost feel like this is going to sound crazy, so I don't want to say that I think this is true, but this is what it feels like. It's almost like, you know how they have that watch list and people can't fly? I feel like there's like a watch list, and I'm not allowed to buy an HDMI camera. And it's no matter who I order it from, they won't deliver it. Even though it'll show like that it's shipped out and it's tracking, it'll just stop once it gets, you know, within 1 day of me, and it just won't go any further. So I now got 3 cameras sitting out there, which is fine because I need a 3-camera shoot. But, you know, the cameras I'm using now, they're just going to be the gym cameras going forward. But it's crazy that I can't get these, like, they won't deliver them to me. I don't know what I did wrong. I feel like I'm like a Chinese social credit system, and for some reason I'm not allowed to have cameras. I don't know what they think I can do with cameras. Anyway, it's just coincidence. I shouldn't talk about like paranoia stuff because I realize that's probably not what's going on. And I know other people are complaining about like eggs and stuff. So, you know, it's sort of like a first world problem that I can't get cameras. So I should shut up about that. Right now, I'm just trying to read the orientation here. I think it's the 2 circles on bottom, 3 circles on top. If we take this piece and we look at it, it should be, yeah, it's consistent, like on both sides. So let's keep the orientation like this. You also can tell by which ways the claws are facing. And now, once you have it like that, it should go on both sides, whichever side will allow for the short side on top. Wait, no, that's not true. Is that true? Yeah, I think that is true. I think no, that's not true. You can do either one with short side on top. So we need to go by something else. All right, what's the something else gonna be? Okay, the flat edges towards the back. All right, so these have slant edges and flat edges. Flat edges towards the back. What I mean by that is the front is where there's 3. Where the front is where there's only 2 in the, you can see this. 2, 2, 1. This is the front. The front is where there's only 1. So once we determine that's to be the front, now we need to get, what did I say? Flat edges going back. And now I got to study this again. Flat edges to the front, slants to the back. All right, that's how I've got it. Do I? One more time. Okay. Yeah, I've got it correct. So just snap this on right here. Sounds easy. Piece is not going on. I think it's something to do with that red rubber piece, so just be careful with that. Make sure that's out of the way. All right, finally. Wow, that was ridiculous. All right, and then same thing on the other side. Well, on the other side, you can't mess up because it's the only one left. As long as you keep the small pieces on top, they're going to be going in the right direction. All right, there we go. Wow, that looks really off center. The rubber piece looks off center. Why? It looks tighter on this side. I think maybe these pieces aren't snapped in. Yeah, there we go. All right, that looks better. In fact, the other side isn't snapped in on the bottom. So one side wasn't snapped in on the top, the other side wasn't snapped in on the bottom, which meant they were like, both pieces were slanted like this way. So basically, they were creating crazy angle on the red piece, but now I've got them snapped in, and now the red piece looks good. I'm just checking to see if it all matches the picture. It seems like it does. Now the next piece that we got to do, instruction 81, they want this little fin, looks like a shark fin, two yellow shark fins, 1 claw, and one 1x3 with a hole in the middle. I say 1x3, it's a 1x3 on a 2x3 frame. Here's the piece. We don't need to discuss it anymore. It's the piece that looks like this. All right, and now I need a claw and a fin. 2 fins. 2 fins, right? Yeah, 2 fins. I can already see the fins. They're a different color. They're a funny shape. And there's a lot of them. So they'll be real easy to find. All right. 1, 2. So there's the little shark fin piece. And there's the little claw piece. Tough to hold. And then the 1x3 with a hole in the middle on a 2x3 frame. There you go. There's everything we're going to do. Now, how are we going to do that? We're just going to drop the claw into the middle. The fins on the edges, but going like the claw goes one way and the fins go another. They're like perpendicular to each other. So the claw going out, the fins going back. And then we're going to drop it, I believe, on the bottom. That's on the bottom, right? I think so. All right, so claw goes in the middle. And these fins go pointing to the back. Is that what they do? Point to the back, yeah. It's amazing how I'm not retaining these instructions. You know, I had an idea that I was going to start preloading the instructions and then doing them as an overlay, and that actually will be cool because when I switch to the YOLO box, that's another thing. I'm using the Mevo Start software. I can't switch to YOLO box till I get the HDMI cameras. Anyway, when I switch to the YOLO box, I'm going to have a monitor. So if I do an overlay, not only will you see it, but I'll see it. And then if I have the instructions on the overlay, I don't even have to deal with the book. I'll look at you'll look at the screen, I'll look at the monitor, and we'll see the instructions together. Anyway, here's the piece that we need to put on. So that's built. That's what it looks like. I meant to show it here. I'll just show it real quickly there. Now we got to put it on the piece. On the bottom, right? Okay. These shark fins are going to go the same direction as whatever these red ones are. Like basically the red ones point back and these ones are going to point back. I guess it's going to fly in the opposite direction. Don't ask me why the claw goes sideways, but it does. So the fins go whatever these are. These red turkey goblets go back and these shark fins go back. The claw goes to the side for whatever reason. All right, let's start on the next thing. All right, instruction 82. We're starting a new piece. It's got a ball and socket. It's actually got 2 sockets, no balls. 2 sockets, no balls. One's on a 1x2 double decker. The other's on a 2x2 double decker. They also need 2 1x2s, 2 double-sided 1x2s, and 2 double-sided 2x2s. So let's go shopping for these pieces. There's the socket. That's the 1x2 socket. And then there's the 2x2 ball, but we need the 2x2 socket. All right, we also need 2x2. See, there's a 2x2, but that's not the one we need. The one we need is double-sided. It's got buttons on both sides. Got to be in here somewhere. We need that for both 1x2 and 2x2. We need both versions. Here's one of the 2x2s. So we need 2 of each. There's a regular 1x2. There's a double-sided 2x2. There's 2 double-sided 2x2s. Now another 1x2. Now where are my double-sided 2x2s? Anybody see them? We should do a call-in chat where, like, instead of people typing the text chat, we should make like a Zoom call, and I'll put the thing in the chat box, and then people take the link, and then I can just pipe the audio from the Zoom into the stream. That'll be cool. We should start doing that. Anyway, all this production stuff is going to happen once the cameras show up and I could do the YOLO box. You know, they say everything happens for a reason. I'm not going to say that that's 100%. You know, I'm not in a position to say that. But I definitely feel like that with the cameras. It's like I had to wait like 2 weeks to get the Mevo cameras, you know, or maybe it was even longer. Now I'm playing with those, and I got to wait like a month to get the real cameras. And I just feel like, well, because I'm building up my ideas, I'm building up my experience, I'm pacing myself. Because if you look at the, like this is version 3. I should do a video of this version 3 because as soon as I get the HDMI cameras, we're going to be on version 4. So anyway, of my desktop stage. So it'll be an interesting progress for someone one day to see. All right, let's just start building here. Enough chit-chat. So what are they doing here? They're building with all these pieces first. These 3 like normal pieces, like not normal, whatever. Not the socket pieces. We're building with those first. You know what? I was giving you incorrect instructions the whole time. We don't need these pieces. What we need is a different piece. It's not double-sided. It's got a pair of buttons on the side. I think it's this piece. Yeah, I think we need 2 of those. Yeah, exactly. So this piece, you remember this piece. It's the 1x2 with the side buttons. We need 2 of those. There's the second one. All right. Okay. Finally, we're ready to start with instruction 82. So they want these 2 like this, like sitting next to each other like this. And then next to them, no, below them go these 2. And then they go like on top. I'll just start building it. All right, so we got the 2x2 here. One by 2 goes in back. So you can just pick up one piece, put on the 1x2. And then the sideways piece, it's gonna span, the piece with the side buttons is gonna span the next 2x2. All right, that's gone. All right, that's that. Now, next, the second 1x2 is gonna kind of stack on here. Kind of lock in those 2 side pieces. All right. Get that a click in. Now we can finally deal with these socket pieces. So they're going to be even. That 1x2 basically makes this piece taller. Because this piece is not as tall as this piece, but adding the 1x2 underneath makes it that height. So this is a joint. I don't know if it's a neck joint or a tail joint, but this is some sort of joint. And that's the end of instruction 82. Moving on to 83. Now we need 2 of this. It's like the side piece, 2 more of the side pieces. 4 of that like 1960s engine piece, 2 1x3s, 1 of these, it's already out. All right, so 2, 2, 4, 2. All right, let's find those pieces. Has anyone been watching Physical 100 or Physique 100 on Netflix? I finished it today. I won't spoil it for you. It's kind of like Squid Game in real life. It's from Netflix, South Korea. And it's pretty good. I'm watching it. The first time I tried to watch it, I was watching it like with the dub, and then like 10 minutes into the first episode, I switched to the Korean. It's tougher to watch in the Korean because you need to like look at the screen because you need to read the subtitles. You can't like look away. You know, during the sporting events, you don't have to pay close attention. In fact, that's I think why I switched to the Korean, because the dub wasn't so bad when they were just talking to each other, but when they were talking during the contest, the dubbing was like so annoying. I had to turn it off. So I watched it in the Korean, which is not so easy, but it's good. It's a very good series. I want to show you something quickly about this pieces. So the first piece I pulled out, it was wrong. It was this one single with it going up, the side piece going up. They actually want the side piece going down. And I just dropped that piece. Anyway, side piece going down. How many of those? 2 of those. That of the single. They also want the 2. See, this is a 1x2, but now they're going up. The side pieces are going up, and we need them to be going down. So where are the going down pieces? There's one of them, and we need 2 of them. All right. And we need 3, no, we need 4 of the 1960s carburetor pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Where's this go? How's this go? They asked for 4 of these pieces, but they're only lining up 3 of them in the picture. Is that a mistake, or are they going to ask for the other one later? They're going to ask for the other one later. All right, anyway, let's just follow it in the instructions. There's also a caution here. What's going on with that? Oh, it's saying make sure the 1x3s are solid. They don't have holes in the bottom. All right, so we line up 3 of the three of the engine pieces, and then we put the 1x3s on the sides. So rather than try to do 3 at once, I'll do 1, and then I'll stick the other 2 on. All right, there we go. Now the other side we are going to have to do 3 at once, but we'll do it and kind of shimmy it on there. There we go. Okay, what's next? All right. So we're going to get to the 4th piece in a minute. But first we got to lay the groundwork. So yeah, we're going to take this thing that we built in the previous section, and we're going to add the side pieces. On the front row, we're going to put the singles, and then we're going to put the sort of the doubles, if you want to call them that. We're putting the singles in front and the 1x2s with the sides in back. So all right. Looks pretty cool. And once those are all on, then that engine piece goes, wait a second. Did I mess this up? No, that's good. That's good. The singles go near the big socket. There's a small socket and the big socket. The singles, which then the engine piece, go near the small socket. And then what happens next? All right, so that's all on top of this. And then we get the red in place. I should point out I have the wrong one here. It's a 1x3 grid in the middle. We need the 2x3 grid. There's all different sizes of these little red flappy pieces, so just be careful you get the right one. All right, here we go. I feel like we should get like a 2x2. This is a 2x3, but the space we're putting it on is 2x2, so that kind of doesn't make sense to me. But that's what we're doing. Yeah, they want to line this up against the back, which means that 2 of these will be like over the edge. Now, we take this piece that we just built, line that up, and that's going to lock in that red piece. All right, there we go. That's it. Instruction 83 is done. What's next? Oh, you know what? There's something wrong with my screen. It says started less than 1 minute ago. It's following along with the progress, but it's saying it started 1 minute ago. That can't be right. All right, now it says started 37 minutes ago, but now the chat disappeared. I refreshed the screen and the chat disappeared, but anyway, at least now it's got the right time. All right, what's next? Instruction 84. 3 claws. What are these pieces? Some weird piece. Yeah, they're a little bit different. It's one of the pieces like we had before, and then one piece a little bit different. 1x3 with the holes, and 1x3 flappy red piece. So this time we do want the holes. Before we wanted the regular, the 1x3. So anyway, there's the 1x3 with the holes. So we built up 2, I don't know, are these neck sections? I think, probably. There only are 2 neck sections. If you look at this picture back here, there's 1, 2. It doesn't look like we have the right number of claws, but maybe we just didn't add them yet. I think maybe we did this one first, and then we're going to do the other one. I don't want to guess. Let's just see. Let's see where we're going with this. All right, let's just grab the pieces first. Oh, man, you didn't even see that picture. I had the wrong camera on. Okay, so the 2 neck sections here. I think there's 2, and we built 2, so that's probably where they go, I think. All right, collecting the pieces. We got the 1x3. We got the flappy piece. We got 3 claws. You know, there's only 2 claws left in this bag. How is it possible? I wonder if we're going to be missing any at the end. And then there's this piece, which is not what we need. So, if you look at this picture here, we need pieces going the other way. One is like hollowed out like this, and the other is not. The one that's not does go this direction. Let me see if maybe this is the correct piece. No, I don't think so. I think there's a piece that's closer, but if I can't find a closer piece, then that indeed will be the piece. But definitely we need one going the other direction. So let's find that piece. I think is this the one going no, that's yeah, that's the one going the other direction. Now, is there a cleaner version of this piece, or is this it? If you look at the picture, what I'm going to do, yeah, if you look forward, I was going to look backward to see when there's 2 directions of that piece, but you can see it here. Yeah, I don't know. That could be the right piece. I don't think so. I think there's a version that's like smoother. That's how it looks in the picture. Yeah. I think it's this piece, right? But this piece is smoother, but it's like a metal piece. Whereas this one looks like it is curved. I'm confused. Like, I have two potential pieces for this, but I think there's still a better fit out there. Oh, is it this piece? No, we already used that. Maybe there isn't a better fit. Maybe I'm just like think that there is. No, here it is. No. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. Or is that the same piece? That's the same piece. Well, then is this the piece? Okay. This is the current leading contender. But I'm going to keep checking because I got a feeling that there's another piece that's even closer to that. These pieces can be very similar, but at some point, that's the piece. I mean, if I don't find what I'm imagining is out there, then that's the piece. I'm suddenly being reminded of when I played bass guitar like 25 years ago, and I got frustrated because there was a scraping or rattling sound in the strings, and even though it was technically the same note, I felt like I wasn't reproducing what I was hearing in the music, and it frustrated me. So now it's like, this is probably this piece that I'm looking for, but in the picture here, it doesn't show this gap, but maybe that's just because they're showing the reverse angle. But if you look at instruction further, this one has the gap and this one doesn't, and they're both going the same direction. So that tells me that there's a piece that's more solid. And I have a piece that's more solid right here. But this one doesn't seem to turn. Like, see, it seems to turn here. Like, this one's like a middle piece. I don't know if there's the piece I'm imagining to exist really exists. It could just be that their picture is just not perfect. But I think it exists because we're doing instruction 83, but if you look at instruction 85, like, what's going on here? Like, why is there a hole in this one and not in this one? Is it just because they're showing us the reverse angle and you can't see it? Yeah, I'm going to have to go with that. They're just showing us the reverse angle and you can't see it because the piece that I'm imagining is not in these boxes. So we can't just keep go on imagining pieces that don't exist. We need to move on. All right, so I need to pick one of these pieces, but see, you know what? Here's why I'm stuck. All right. Are they turning different directions or not? All right, let's look where they actually assemble it. And now, this. Yes. All right. When you look where you assemble it, then you get to see the reverse angle of this piece. All right, let me see that. No. No, you're seeing the same. You're seeing it 180 reversed, but you're not seeing the underside. All right. We're going to try in the next instruction. Because here, see, same piece. Now, do we get to see the underside here? Let's see here. Yeah. Yep. It's got a notch in the middle. Okay. The picture wasn't showing the notch, but the notch is there, which means that this is the correct piece, which means I wasted like 5 minutes of everyone's time. Sorry about that. All right. So 3 claws, 1 of each direction, 1x3 with holes in the middle, and the red piece. Let's finally start putting these together. So they want them to attach to this thing, starting with this orientation. Grabbing those claws, if you want to call them that, not claws, these angled pieces, putting them in the front, angle down. It's going to be the other side, yeah, angle down. That should have been another clue, that they're going to get attached to the same piece but on opposite sides. That's another clue that they're the same piece. Wow, I just went off on a... I was just spent 5 minutes looking for a piece that didn't exist because I didn't properly imagine what the other side of that piece looks like when I really should have. All right, now, yeah, they want these to go. Yep, okay. So the red goes this direction, but there's 4 holes here. They want it on the first 3. And then the piece with the holes goes on top, also on the first 3. I'm actually going to double check that. I think it's the first 3. Let me just take a closer look there. Yeah, it's the first 3. And then the claws, if you can believe it, go 1, 2, 4. So the 4th claw, the 3rd claw goes in the 4th hole, and the other 2 claws go in holes 1 and 3, counting from my thumb. So we got the big socket here, got the red piece on the first 3, as well as the 1x3, and then the claws, 1 down low, and then the 2 ends there. Looks pretty good. All right, so moving on to oh, you know what? Did you see this? Use this, not that. The only thing is I can't tell the difference between those 2 things. Is one of them like wider than the other? This is crazy. The instruction says like this piece is correct, this piece is wrong. Now, can you tell the difference between those 2 pieces? So in the first half of the instruction, I imagined the pieces to be different, and they weren't. Now they are different. Oh, okay. The difference is these 2 little holes, and the difference is just which side. It's got to be the same piece, right? No, it doesn't have to be, because one side is smooth. So we don't even know if we put the right piece in there or not. You know what? Whether we put the right piece or not, regardless, has to come out, because the ridges should be... No, actually, let me see. Yeah, we got the ridges going right. All right, that piece is good. All right, that's fine. Panic over nothing. All right, moving on to instruction 85. 4 of each of the different like sort of 1 button list, size of a 1 button, but there's no button. 4 of each type, then 4 of those pieces I was playing with in the previous section, 4 of each direction, and then 2 2x4s. That's a 2x3. All right, that's a 2x4. That's a 2x4. Now, with the 2 2x4s. Now we have to get those pieces that I was like fretting over before. We now need them. 4 of each kind, each direction. First 3 I picked up are all going the same direction. But I guess eventually we'll find... that one doesn't go any direction. That's a middle piece. Yep, 4 in a row, all the same direction. Which makes me think, nope. All right, now I got 2 in a row going the other direction. This is the, yeah. That's the one that doesn't go either direction. Oh my goodness, this looks like the piece. No, it's the same. Okay. Wow. I'm still looking for that imaginary piece that doesn't exist. I wonder how many people, I mean, I'm doing this with a little Lego set and I recognize the problem after 5 minutes. I wonder how many people have like lived their lifetimes looking for something that doesn't exist. They just like were confused and they thought something existed and they spent their whole life working towards it and turns out it didn't exist. I bet you that's happened. And it's probably movies about that happening to people. That sounds like definitely something that could happen. I know that, I think it was Jackie Joyner Kersey. This is going back like 30 years, this story. I believe when she was doing the heptathlon, because she was the best in the world, like significantly, so she had to create her own like people to compete against that didn't really exist. By the way, look at this piece. It's like angle. But I think we're looking for the flat ones. Let's go back here again. Yeah, the flat ones. All right, so she was far and ahead of everyone else, but she wanted to be the first person because there's 7 events in the heptathlon. She wanted to break 7,000, but then after she broke 7,000, then she still wanted to keep breaking the world record, but there was no one to push her and no round numbers to go after. So her and her coach created some fake athlete called Wilhelmina World Record, and no matter what they would do, you know, she would like improve her personal best in some event. And then her coach will say, bad news, Wilhelmina, you know, improved in that event too. If you want that, if you want to beat her, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that. And it was like her motivation to break the world record. She was competing against someone that didn't exist, that her and her coach both knew it was a made up fake person, but it helped with motivation. Gave her something to challenge. But, you know, that's sort of a case where you know what you're doing. I think there's probably been other cases where people have worked on projects that they thought made sense and turns out they didn't. You know, that might even be, does anyone remember? Actually, you don't even have to remember. I think it's still in the news. What was the name of that? I think it was called like Theranos or something like that. I might be saying the wrong name, but maybe like, I don't know. I don't remember the name. But there was a woman who was CEO and she's like in court cases. It's kind of famous. For some reason, I'm thinking Elizabeth Holmes, but it could be someone totally different. Anyway, here's the point. The person tried to create something where you put a drop of blood into a machine and it does all these like lab tests. You like prick the finger and the drop of blood goes in and you do all this lab tests. But it turned out to not be possible. So she was chasing something that not only was it folly, but it wasn't possible. And she was creating a company and people were investing in that company and they were filing like, you know, reports with the SEC. So basically it was like, I mean, you can watch the news. It was quite a thing, but I'm sure a lot of other people in tech also attempted to do things that other people said were impossible, but they were able to do them. And, you know, maybe if that Theranos stalled for another, 40, 50 years, maybe they'd have been able to do theirs too. Like maybe the only problem with Theranos was the amount of time, like maybe if she'd gotten her invention to work within 5 years, maybe it wouldn't have been considered a scam. Maybe it would be considered a breakthrough. I'm not saying that. Like, I don't know what the law is about that. I'm just sort of wondering how many other tech people went after something. See, but that's a positive. Again, that's like the Wilhelmina world record. That's, again, trying something positive. I predict there's been people who've spent their lives working on something that was never possible. But maybe if it helped them to do something else, then maybe it's still good. But maybe it didn't. Maybe there's people who spent their life completely in folly. I mean, it sounds like tragic. I mean, it's your life, but I'm telling you, I'm sure it happens. And I'm sure it's happened a lot. Especially when people didn't know as much. I mean, nowadays, maybe it happens less. I don't know. All right, this is another situation before where we need to take these two 2x4s and line up like one set of the bigs and one set of the smalls on other side, but it's a little different than before in that now the two... No, it's the same as before. It's not different at all. Is it 2 copies of the same thing? Oh no, it's 2 instructions. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out what's different about these 2 boxes. So this one has the long sides in the back. Okay. If you face each other, then the short sides will face each other. We build them facing each other. So I don't really follow what they're asking, but I know that if I put them lining up, facing each other, and keep the 2 short pieces on top, then all the short pieces are going to face each other. I'll show you what I mean. So there's a big and a small, and they both have short pieces in the front. So then over here, I'm going to take the other sides, like big and small, line up their short pieces in front, and the 2 pieces face each other. Like, that's how they have it in the book, and that's how I'm going to do it. So now they, like, face each other. Short pieces in front, long pieces in back. If you keep the 2x4s facing each other, then that's the pattern. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we haven't grabbed one of these questions in a while, like days. What does your perfect day look like? Perfect day? Perfect like ordinary day, or perfect like fantasy day? Well, I guess it's my choice to pick the perfect day. You know, we had a birthday in my household today. It wasn't mine. But it was a pretty good day because of that. But it was, I also had to work, so it wasn't totally a birthday, but there were some things like a little different. I mean, we had cake. We had a little party. We all watched a TV show together. Actually, it was that, I was just talking about it. That Physique 100, we watched actually the final episode of that today, so I know who won. And I'll tell you, without giving any spoilers, it was something that didn't really... Maybe to Korean people it was noticeable, but to me it was like someone that wasn't even on the watch list like the whole time. But he won the contest. But I guess he was good, right? If he won, he must have been good. All right, so the perfect day. I'm just tempted to say like cliche things, like someone will like have a day where you laugh, cry, this, that. I've heard people say things like that, but I don't think that that's... You know, that's just something that sounds good. I don't think that's really the perfect day. So we watched a show together as a family. We had dinner together as a family. We ordered sushi, which probably gives you a clue as to whose birthday it was. Who in the household was most likely? If it was one of the kids, they probably would have ordered pizza. If it was me, then I probably would have ordered steak. So I guess it's pretty obvious that it was my wife's birthday today because we had sushi. Happy birthday if you're listening. So that was a lot of fun. We had a toast, we had cake, we had sushi. Watched the show together. The dog got a few walks. We skipped the workout today, which is I would think that my perfect day would include a workout. But we didn't do a workout today. The party sort of took the place that would normally be the workout. It's snowing, which I don't know if that's like, you can't like predict that as part of your perfect day, but I think that was like nice. We were all happy about that. Hasn't snowed much this winter. All right, so these two pieces we just created. Now we have to get them onto another piece, but which one? I think this same one we've been working on with the, yeah, these pieces on the side. That's where they're going to go. All right, so the big claw, the big socket gets the long pieces, if that makes sense. The short side, so there's a big socket and a short socket. The short side of the pieces goes to the small socket, and the long side of the pieces go to the big socket. I think that's pretty, you know, that's as easy to remember and understand as it could be. So let's get this piece snapped on. The only thing is, this is a 4 receptor, and this is a 3 pin. So I have to just check how this is supposed to connect. Is supposed to connect up to the front, which means it's going to hang off at the back, which makes sense because we've already got pieces hanging off. So we connect at the front, it's going to hang slightly off the back, which is already fits the sort of mold of what we've been doing. This like tricky piece because there's other pieces attached to it, and I'm worried that if I press, those pieces are going to come flying off. Anyway, it's on. Wasn't that tricky as I thought it would be. All right, yeah, long side to the big piece, short side to the small piece. All right, we got that going good. Put the other piece on. The small and big, in terms of the size of the pieces, the small go on top. If that wasn't already clear. Okay. Just trying to get that on without breaking any of the pieces off. Actually, this has been a good puzzle in terms of when you snap the pieces on, rarely do they snap other pieces off. I think we had that issue a little bit with these claws here, but that's the only problem. Otherwise, you snap the stuff on and it's good. We haven't had any problems. All right, are we? No. 86. We got one more instruction on this, and then book 1 is done. So 86 is 2 fins, 2 claws, and is that a 1x4? No, that's a 1x4. This is a very specific piece. In fact, it's right here. It's a 1x4 on a 2x4 frame with 2 of the pieces being like you can see through them. So 1x4 on a 2x4 frame with 2 see-through pieces. Very specific piece. And then 2 claws and 2 fins. Alright. Remember the fins were easy to find. The claws are in the bag. I think there's 2 claws left in this bag. That's it. These are the last 2 claws. If they ask for more, we don't have them. That's it. That's done. And now how do we arrange them? All pointing backwards. You know, I wonder, because it's a 2D picture, I wonder if even before times when I was saying the claw goes out to the side, maybe it was really going backwards. It's actually kind of tough to read the direction of the claw from these pictures, but the good news is if you do put the claw in the wrong direction, you can always spin it later. It's like, I don't think it's a big deal. It's a claw. You put it in a circle. It's always going to be an external piece. There's never going to be anything else attached to it. So you can just reach it, grab it, and spin it. Like even after you've fully assembled the dragon, you can still spin the claws, so it's not a big deal at all. Okay. That's the end of book 1. We just finished book 1. Actually, we have to attach this piece. And then we finished book 1. So, to attach it, what do we got to do here? Well, it goes on the bottom. Remember on this smaller, like, neck piece, we put the thing on the bottom? Well, we do the same thing on the big one. And we do it the same direction. Like, everything else is going this way. You know what? I'm going to spin these claws. They go this way. I know it. I was reading it wrong before. Spin the claws. That's the way they go. So, claws go this way, fins go this way, everything goes this way. The only question is, does it go right up to the edge? Yeah, it does. I mean, that's the obvious thing that it would do, but it was worth double checking because the obvious thing is not always the thing that's done. Oh my goodness. This is a tricky piece. All right, I got it. Here's why I say it's tricky. This piece is hanging out without an ability to put support behind it. Like I was talking about the potential to break pieces off. That could have happened here. It didn't. We got that piece on the bottom. All right. Now we're officially done with book 1. Close the book on book 1. Book 1 is done. All right. Book 2. Let's see what's going on. See, now it's saying 37 minutes. So it was saying 1 minute before, now it's saying 37. which means it's not updating again. So I'm going to hit refresh again. Right. Yeah. All right. At least the chat time is still there. So I see now it says we're at 70 minutes. So we're going to stop here because we're at 70 minutes. And why open book 2? Let's just take it as a preview. All right. So on the first page of book 2, we're going to be adding the head to the dragon. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you're here tomorrow. Dragon's going to get a head. All right. So that's it for tonight. I don't have a sign out. See you next time. I was thinking about the sign outs on the Temple of Iron videos. Now I'm thinking these puzzles. Well, I'll figure it out. I don't have anything yet. I'll just say see you tomorrow for now. Good night. Sleep well.